mitraya bhanavi mritor mahahi radishnavi vishvahetavi namaha suryad bhavanti bhutani suryena palitani tu surye layang prapnuvanti yah suryah sohamivacha.
Mayura Bhatta, the court poet of King Harshavardhana, once wrote in praise of the sun god. The car of Savita, ascending the pathway of the sky, is drawn upon by horses. May this car bring you happiness. Perhaps the design of Konark, in the form of a celestial car driven by 7 horses, was also suggested to its maker, King Narasimha Deva I, by Mayura's verses of Surya Sataka. Looking at these life-sized musicians singing and dancing in praise of Surya, further echo the poet's verses. The rising splendor, the maker of the day, praised by Gandharvas with pleasing words and musical instruments of cymbal, drum and flute. In the early 13th century itself, Konark became the pinnacle of artistic performance of the medieval period, one of the most brilliant achievements of the world's art. Around 1238 AD, the king decided to commemorate his victory over the Yavanas by building a temple that would surpass the rest in magnificence. The king was so fascinated by this desire that the cost of construction drained away his entire revenue of 12 years. For 16 long years, 12,000 masons worked on it with the aid of 1,000 laborers to complete this masterpiece. His ambition materialized in the construction of this Surya temple at Konark, the renowned Arkakshetra of Orissa. Konark was once a prosperous harbour for Kalinga merchants to sail off to Ceylon and East Indies. In fact, without a navigable stream, the colossal amount of heavy materials, manpower and foodstuff needed for the construction could never be gathered. The fact is further proved by a giraffe, Most probably, some trader had brought this strange animal from East Africa to the local port as a present for the king. Some of the earliest examples of stone temples in chariot form have been traced to South India, mostly in the period of Chola kings. Narasimhadeva himself was a descendant from Anantavarma Chola Ganga, who combined in himself the Ganga and Chola blood. The earlier Chola architecture may have also influenced the maker of Konark. The collective myth of this massive chariot is staggering, with its 12 pairs of wheels symbolizing the 12 months. One wheel for the dark half of the month and the other for the bright half of the lunar period. Poised as though it is about to fly off to the solar cycle of the year, Aruna, the sun's charioteer, is missing, but the illusion of flight uncannily hangs in the air. The national jubilation of routing the Muslim invaders was the true reason for the rise of this gigantic temple. The abundance of war scenes, cavalry, elephants and infantry marching in full force, to single war horses and elephants ruthlessly crushing enemies under their feet, supports this thought. This is unusual in a temple. In no other temple of Orissa can one find such military scenes and in such profusion. The temple recalls the torso of some famous classical statue. This imposing appearance is obtained by the treatment of the pyramidal roof. The white spaces in between are filled with sculptures of heroic size, an innovation that gives it human vitality. The front gate leads to Nata Mandira, where dance performances and other rituals were held. The architecture is arranged in such a way that as the sun rises, the rays pierce its interior to light up the Jagmohana. To enhance the richness of its appearance, the builders have filled out the pattern with intricate designs. These dancing poses matches exactly to the poses mentioned in Sangeeta Darpana, a text on Odissi dance. The eastern approach of Nata Mandira is flanked by colossal figures of Gaja Simha, lion rampant upon helpless elephant and mutilated human body, a symbol of ruthless power. The southern portal of the temple has the famous pair of Konark horses, depicting a mobile ferocity. Each horse suggestive of pride and vitality. A pair of elephants showing massive strength lies at the northern gate. This noble creature is the heraldic symbol of the Oriya kings, the Gajapatis or lords of elephants. Konark is truly a victory over a veritable war against nature. Most of the stirring part of its story centers around its engineering skill, its structural adventure, and its constructional daring. This monolithic block, when intact, weighed 26.5 tons, placed at a height of 170 feet, fell off from the Jagmohana entrance. It's a matter of great wonder as to how such heavy stones could be raised to such great heights before the invention of the steam engine, wire ropes, or even a pulley block. It was the scientific genius of Oriya builders of the medieval times. The front porch, or Jagmohana, is 128 feet high. The Vimana, the tower which once crowned the sanctum, rose 228 feet from the ground. Very few Indian temples can boast of such an unrestrained abundance of plastic decoration as this vast structure. Every portion of the exterior is molded and chiseled, either in abstract geometrical ornament, mythical animals, Nagas and Nagis, and almost every conceivable motif or subject known to the Indian mind, all in a technique recalling the wrap and weft of a woven textile. Scene of archery, Shikshadana motive, Batuka Bhairava, dignified couple, traveller, palki procession, soldiers, amorous couple.
Jaya Jaya Deva Hare 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 Jaya Jaya Deva Hare.
In this extreme southwest corner of the compound lies this Narayan brick temple, brought to light only in 1956. Ganga and Yamuna placed at the base, a rare example of river goddesses functioning as door guardians. An image of Gajalakshmi, The superstructure is completely missing and generally devoid of exterior decoration due to the crumbling nature of the material. In the southwestern and western Nisha shows Surya in a standing posture. This statue is made of a completely different stone, a close-grained, hard, silver grey, almost metallic in quality, entirely different from the other temple sculptures. It is difficult to believe this stiff, rigid, lifeless, purely formal piece of work could have been made in Orissa. The moulding of legs is completely alien to Orissan sculpture. Surya's 7 horses are driven by his charioteer Aruna. Here again, we find King Narasimha as a devotee at the feet of Surya. The North Nisha shows a deity seated upon a horse. This can be Revanta, Surya's son, who characteristically rides a horse. The souls of 1,200 poets have sought deathlessness through the stones they loved. Visitors of vision and perception can easily visualize the dance of the celestial nymphs in the empty, silent Natamandira even now. The temple comes to life with the dancers as the mere stone figures in the innumerable niches of this great frame recede into the background.
स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलम्